Hey guys, welcome. Dan the Wolfman here. Today I'm going to talk about an important subject about having a disability and training martial arts. I'm going to get into different disabilities, mostly about how to train martial arts and keep positive, and then we'll get more into like real self-defense issues later on as this goes on. Hopefully my high-tech setup I got going on now works a little bit better for you guys. Guys, I've been training martial arts since 1986, so that is about 34 years. If you don't know, I have black belts in Taekwondo and Daido Juko Karate, highest on grappling system under Jean the Bell and Gokar Shivichin, a mixture of all grappling styles, and then in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Hickson by armbar. If you're too young to get that, sorry, you need to do your history better, people. But I've also been diagnosed with lupus coming up on 10 years, SLE lupus. SLE lupus is a horrible autoimmune disease, horrible. And I've still managed to do fairly well, but people have no idea the pain, suffering, inflammation that I deal with. So I did pretty well up until a couple years ago. Now I'm 42 and a half. So we'll talk about some hidden disabilities, and then I'll get into limbs, blindness, deafness, arthritis, needing a cane or a wheelchair, things of that issue. The biggest thing, guys, is to try and be positive as best as you can and to work around your particular disability as best as you can. You have to be somewhat practical, but I'll give you some examples of people that have been able to do exceptional things. I myself, most people with lupus do not train like I was training up to a couple years ago. Now it's very difficult for me to keep training. Today, Sunday, is the day I do open mat jiu-jitsu, and I haven't even been able to do that today because 2 weeks ago I tore my groin muscle. Over the years, I've had many torn muscles. This can be attributed to having lupus as well as the fact that I take prednisone. Major study in mice, prednisone has increased muscle tears. A year and a half ago, I tried to go off of it and almost killed myself by going off prednisone for 28 days straight, even though I'm on low dose and was doing every other day. And now I need it more than that to make sure I don't go into adrenal fatigue and die. You average die in 10 years anyway, which is coming up for me. So people don't understand. Some days I'm really good on the mats, some days not as good lately, and that's been very troubling for me personally to deal with, because up to a couple years ago I was still really going good with pros, and some days I still have really good days, and even the days I have really good, what people don't understand is I can barely get off the couch, barely sit up to walk upstairs to move at all for the next day and a half until the inflammation. A lot of pain in my lower back. I got 2 slipped discs, a beat up body from grappling all my life. I also have sleep apnea. So things can be difficult. You just have to do the best you can. But some days, like today, I debated whether or not I'm going, and I had other things to do, and I kind of wanted to film this video. So I actually skipped out on jiu-jitsu today. A year ago, I wouldn't have done that. Now I'm going, well, maybe I'm going to wait 3 weeks because I don't think I'll re-injure myself in 3 weeks. But 2 weeks, it was kind of like a maybe thing. Like I think I would have done all right, but had I gone too hard or twisted in a certain way, who knows what would have happened today. So you do have to be smart. Other people have, I think there's 34 autoimmune diseases. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean people aren't struggling. They're not disabled. They aren't dealing with real pain. I don't take any painkillers. I almost never need muscle relaxers anymore. I do nothing for I'm thinking about trying CBD eventually, if I can find some that have the legal amount of the tiny, tiny drops of THC to actually make it somewhat effective. But guys, now let's talk about people with missing partial limbs. Nick Newell in MMA. Nick Newell's gone 16-2, just won his Bellator debut. Okay. One of his arms goes to about there, I think below the elbow. I wouldn't say he's one-armed, because that's really foolish if you think of him as only one-armed, as everyone he's choked out can tell you. Or the kickboxer Baxter, the one-armed bandit Humby. I actually met him once. I went up to a really nice restaurant where I knew him and Stefanos Moussatakis bounced at. And I wanted to go talk to those guys. So I went up and chatted with him one night. He had 70 wins, 11 losses, one draw. So if you need some motivation, guys, look at these guys. One leg, Anthony Robles, the Iowa wrestler, 3-time Pac-10, 3-time All-American. Nick Ackerman. He also had a wrestler at MFS I trained with, Multi Fighting Systems. He had legs that were basically cut off right below the knees. I think that was something between birth and about a year old for him. But he was like a champion wrestler. And then after just a few months of learning grappling, like submission grappling, I went up with him to NAGA, and he won the advanced division of NAGA. As everyone, at the end of it, after he started just ankle picking everybody, started trying to wrestle like him, getting down on their hands and knees, starting position, facing him, which was a joke. It's like, you're not just going to learn what this guy's been doing his whole life. I mean, he just destroyed everybody. And what people don't realize is, like, he could guillotine me because he could just get his little leg hook underneath and create the leverage needed. Same thing with, so he could wrap you up in positions where you thought you were safe, like you thought you were passing, and all he needed to do was kind of like get his 60% leg with a hooking mechanism, kind of like I think Nick Newell does, or like a deformed hand, John Jacques Machado. It's not necessarily a disadvantage once you've trained your whole life to learn how to use it, is what I'm saying. It's like you can't peel some of his chokes off. Blind people, look at my catch wrestling arm weave submissions. Catch wrestling arm weave submissions better than a Kimura. I was filmed with Andre from Australia, who I just met. It's a pretty interesting video, I think you'll find. And I keep getting comments like, I didn't point it out, but yeah, he was 99% blind, or close to that. So, and then right after that, I think he won a grappling, I think an intermediate tournament the next day. He won with a D-bar. So it can be done. When I was in high school, I remember 16 years old, junior year, I saw a small Aikido class, and there was a blind guy just doing phenomenal. Well, especially in grappling, guys, a lot of grappling is about sensitivity awareness, as I've talked about in my Real Steven Skull Aikido videos and things of that nature. Stuff that even a lot of grapplers don't get. But, a lot of jiu-jitsu people will grapple with their hands in their belts or with their eyes closed. A lot of times I just find myself with my eyes closed. So especially once there's that kinesthetic intelligence, you don't need it for grappling, really. In striking, that may be a different matter, but you can develop your senses, your ears, and even sense the weight of someone on the mat through your feet. I have quite a few videos, Batman blind fighting, Daredevil blind fighting. Look up Catch Jiu-Jitsu and type that stuff in, you'll find some. What about being deaf? Well, if you're a visual learner, you've learned to be a visual learner your whole life, you'll probably do all right. You just have to have your awareness higher for self-defense with your head on a swivel, as everyone should, but even more so if you are deaf. So, what about if you have a cane? Learn some Bartitsu, learn some Lacan Savat. Okay? Some Bartitsu and some Lacan, how to fight with your cane, how to choke with your cane, hit with your cane, hook the neck, take out the legs. Even Van Damme did it in one movie. What about if you're in a wheelchair? Well, usually guys have super strong upper bodies in a wheelchair. Learn how to grip and tear and rip, catch wrestling style, grab that meat. Learn how to punch deep into the body and the ball since you're in a wheelchair from Systema. If you're grabs, shirt grab, wrist grab, some Aikido, Hapkido can be pretty effective, especially for people who have been pushing themselves in a wheelchair all the time and have a well-developed body. Let's talk about some real self-defense, guys. So for training martial arts, just do your best to get around things as best as you can. And if you're in a wheelchair, some Gun Fu would probably be your best bet. Try and live in the last few free states, or in the last very few free countries in the world where you're right to defend yourself. Not like some countries that are posting signs that women don't carry a taser or crappy tasers and crappy pepper spray, not even the actual halfway effective stuff, because rape only lasts a few minutes. That's a police sign in England. Yeah, any girl I've ever met that's been raped, it didn't just last a few minutes, it lasted a lifetime. So fuck you all, fuck all you pedophiles, fuck all you politicians. Yeah, fuck you. And anyway, if you have arthritis issues, grip strength issues, you're old, again, the great equalizer, learn some gun fu. There are pistols that would work out well for you. The Smith & Wesson EZ380, very easy to load, rack, safe, very easy slide, very easy. Another one with the easy slide rack is the Springfield XDE, supposedly like 27% easier. I find it a very fine pistol. Some of the old Berettas, I knew some people in wheelchairs before, they had the Berettas with the tip up barrels, so you didn't have to rack the slide to load it. You can tip up the barrel and load the first one there, and then it feeds from the magazine after that. So the Beretta with the tip up barrels, low recoil, 32 ACP, a Beretta 81 BB, give you 12 plus 1, 13 rounds of 32 ACP. If you're in a wheelchair, you can defend yourself pretty well. Watch your awareness behind you, learn how to keep your head, or, wheel one, always, check your six. But, a lot of people have a lot of disabilities. You just have to work around it. And there's times in my life where I was successful even at late 30s with lupus, very sick, probably pushing it too hard and traveling all over an hour each way on a subway in Japan, a train, and getting killer shape in case I was going to get this fight and all kinds of stuff. But they had no idea how much pain, how I could barely move to eat at 7-Eleven and my hands curl up and things of that nature, shakes and the pain, hand pain, feet pain, etc. You just have to do the best you can. But if you see this, if you have a disability, that doesn't mean don't do martial arts. Try and find the right gym for you, the right instructor, maybe the right style, a coach that's willing to try to work with you, work around you. Don't try to make excuses. Do the best that you can. But obviously, if you have to find workarounds, you see all these champion wrestlers, champion fighters, they learned how to hook and work around it. And if someone else wants to take them lightly, a lot of them pay for it. So, I guess that's it, guys. There's not a lot of videos on training with a disability. I just wanted to speak from my heart a bit. I don't know how much longer I'll be around. I've been feeling really bad the last few months. Actually, 2 months ago, really getting bad lupus sores on top of my head. That's usually very end of time signs kind of thing. But changed my diet to eating once a day. If you want me, I'll do a video on OMAD, eating once a day. The last few days I've been kind of going off of it. Sundays are my days where I eat twice a day. So today I've gone off of it. And I'm thinking of switching or alternate switching to an 18-hour 6 or 16-hour 8. 16-8 split, I think, is what most people do with intermittent fasting. That's probably a lot easier than the OMAD. The OMAD was actually super easy and got rid of my inflammation. I felt great for the first few weeks after kind of working my way into it for a few weeks. I don't know. I can talk more about that if you guys are interested. If you have any questions or a follow-up, let me know. I'll maybe do some more kind of this thing. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. And that's it, guys. Please look at my playlist. People don't even realize I have playlists on front headlock system. I had my front headlock system in 2014 before it was not completely copied, but the layout completely copied. The going to Schultz control position first to then do anaconda and all that stuff. Kind of before other people did. I had a system in each position. So guys, look at my entering the system. Top turtle, side mount, top half guard, enter the system, front headlock, enter the system, takedowns, enter the system, double wrist locks, enter the system, leg locks. I got all kinds of, basically any position you can think of, and then particular submissions. 1 hour long videos. They're free now for you to enjoy. And then, of course, guys, I do combatives. In the old days, I had striking videos. I have sparring videos. I have all kinds of stuff. I hope you enjoy it, and I will catch you on the flip side. Thank you very much.